Howdy gang, welcome back to the Ornery Latina. Today's topic 2, is going to be called Those Lousy, No Good, Son of a Gun Media People. You know, I thought that the media was supposed to be fair and impartial and unbiased. And before it even became a big deal, when I was trying to push legislation through, I noticed that both sides of the stories wouldn't get told. And so my dad, when I was growing up, when he said, when I'd had a problem with something, he'd say, always take it to the top, pick your battles, but if you have a problem with something, you take it to the top. Well, growing up in New Jersey and being raised by New Yorkers, I thought I would do a little research on the Associated Press. The Oregonian and the Statesman Journal and all of the Associated Press is owned by one big billionaire, big corpora. His name was Samuel Newhouse, a very wealthy billionaire from New Jersey. And in all the liberal areas, he happened to own the media. So I had looked into it and noticed that he had passed away and left the newspaper to his son, Donald Newhouse. And so I wanted to talk to Mr. Newhouse, but Mr. Newhouse didn't want to talk to me. Well, you know me, I don't take no for an answer, and called and called and called and called, and I put about 100 calls across and did it from my kids' phones, did it from other people's phones, and one day I just said, I am so tired of rejection, but I really need to talk to Mr. Newhouse. So I called during lunch, because I used to work in uptown Manhattan. I worked for a company called Needham, Harper and Steers. I was a receptionist years ago when I was 19, hired to work in the business center. They realized I couldn't type and I couldn't do anything for shizzle. So they put me in the media center so I can open doors for everybody, smile real big and answer the phones and look pretty. And I loved it. And it was fun. It was a fun job. I even liked filling out their Christmas cards. Nothing's finer than filling out the Christmas cards to all the rich billionaires' friends for Christmas. And they didn't even let me come to the Christmas party because I gave my 2-week notice to go live in Oregon. And I wanted to go to the Christmas party. I was still working there, and they're like, you're not invited. They uninvited me to the Christmas party after I filled out all their Christmas cards. This was the owner of Needham, Harper and Steers. They managed accounts like Fortune 500 and Forbes. And I wanted to tell you guys, I think you're real son of a bitch douchebags to this little 19-year-old girl who worked really hard to give her best penmanship for you people. And you couldn't even let me come to the Christmas party. Anyway, back to Mr. Newhouse. I finally get through after being rejected. And I couldn't believe it, because I remember that when the secretaries leave, sometimes, just sometimes, a call might get put back to the CEO. So I called and I said, I pretended I was a secretary. I disguised my voice. I'm on Mr. Newhouse, please. By golly, it worked. They gave me straight to Mr. Newhouse. So he gets on the phone and he goes, Mr. Newhouse. And I felt like I hit the lottery. I'm like, shit, you're not going to believe this. I didn't even know what to say. I get Mr. Newhouse on the phone and I'm like, So anyway, I'm Dee Velez from Oregon. I'm an activist. And I've been trying to get in touch with you for a long time because I am really outraged by your newspaper. I'm outraged because every time we have a rally, the only side of the story that gets covered are the 4 people opposing the 100 people that I'm rallying with against the day labor sites. Like, why are you freaking representing the freaking illegal alien hired in the day labor sites? And I said, your reporting is extremely biased. It's really insulting. And Fred Sigler or something like that was working for the Oregonian. Anyway, I just ripped this little guy a new asshole. I mean, I was on the phone and he sat there and he took it. He took it. You know why? Because he owns God, Con Magazine or something stupid. He owns like all the magazines, like, you know, globally. He owns everything. This guy is a multi-billionaire. So big. And nobody sits there and tells this billionaire how it is. And I said, well, we're going to boycott your newspaper. Well, I boycotted his newspaper, and a lot of people in the rural areas didn't buy his shit for nothing rag. That was very liberal and to the left. You know, if more of us would boycott these fucking lame-ass, lying pieces of shit newspaper, like the Tampa Tribune sometimes, who just leans to the left, and the St. Petersburg, none of them represent the right view. You know why? Because they're all bought and paid for by these big corporate entities that really are just about globalizing everything. And so if you think that you as a little person if you think you have a voice or a say in the matter, you don't. Because it's all bought. These elections are bought, the newspapers are bought, the medias are, you know, completely controlled. I mean, Fox News doesn't even put out the accurate details. In fact, they pull 12 million illegal aliens right out of their ass every single fucking day. Do you know how I get tired of hearing Bill O'Reilly bullying, you know, Sarah Palin about the illegal immigrants? Well, we can't just put them in cars and take them back over the border. Well, Bill, we can't just keep them here and have people, like, you know, procreating and getting Dream Acts and getting free everything while you're not paying for this shit. We are. Bill, you're not paying. This is not going to be on your dime. You know, this is on our kids' dime, their kids' dime, and future generations. And so, and it's not even guarding the border. That's not, you know, that's dealing with the sex slave people, the trafficking, if you go through the tunnels and stop that. But, you know, these people are coming into our country invited, hundreds and thousands of them, millions of them on guest worker visas. And we are going to politely ask them to leave? I don't think so. So Fox News is sitting here, you know, touting Jeb Bush and saying Jeb is so wonderful. And Jeb is just going to be like W. It's going to be W, like, you know, super W. He's going to supersize the illegal immigration population. And then, oh yeah, we're going to let them all vote too, you know, and have voting rights. You know what? The illegal immigration situation is never going to be fixed until we fix the visa program and get them to leave afterwards. But we can't figure out where they are. We can figure out where I am, or Will is, or any American citizen that doesn't pay their taxes or pay a bill, or, you know, is unemployed and having hardship. You can find anybody struggling in this country, and then you could just find them and tax them and fucking just, you know, hurt them real bad. But you can't, you're telling me you cannot find an illegal alien. That is a bunch of shit. And you guys know it. And we can't figure out who's voting legally and illegally. And that's bullshit too. I call bullshit on that one too. You know what? The Associated Press has been covering this up. Why? Because they want to open the border. They want to demolish our country. They profit off of all this stuff. And if you guys think by going to the Republican parties and congregating for the best of two evils and sitting there talking among yourself and trying to feel important, if you think you even have a voice in this country, you don't. Your vote doesn't count. Your voice doesn't count. You don't count. And if you think so, then you're delusional. You're just as delusional as Fox News and CNN and all those fucking idiots we vote for. Because you know what? Until we get real, until we put people out there like me, who call people out like Mr. Newhouse, this multi-billionaire who owns all the media in the country, who sits there and hires a certain type of personnel that is sitting there touting his agenda. You know what? How did you make your billions, Mr. Newhouse? Did people give you handouts? Did you sit there and take from somebody else to give to somebody else? Did you sit there and become enslaved because somebody wanted to take your business and globalize everything, maybe build something on Africa at your expense? You know, Mr. Newhouse, did you ever see, you know, Schindler's List and look at what happened in Nazi Germany and really understand the evils of socialism and what collapses the country? Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Okay, guys, have a great day.